I have a very broad topic to cover today: achieving success in accounting and finance career. And this is a very important topic. So let's get started. Yeah, so this is how I'm going to keep the agenda. Like I said, we will do a quick round of introduction. I think we are done with the introduction. We're not going to focus a lot of time on that. We will do a reality check. When I say reality check, I'm going to tell you what is this industry looking like right now. Okay. Then we will look at some of the essential skill sets one should have to succeed in the field of accounting and finance. I have divided it into 4 categories. One is subject matter expertise. Second is data analysis and visualization. This profession is becoming more from a finance profession to a fintech profession every day. So data analysis and data visualization is a very key aspect, very key skill sets to be had in this industry. Soft skills that is needed to grow in this field. And all very important, the fourth one, which is again related to the second point, is your tech savviness and adaptability. We're going to focus on those essential skills. Then if we have time, we will also look at things that one should focus on after you get into the field of accounting. That is mainly what kind of a mindset shift you should have at various stage. And then we'll focus on how to navigate your career path. I am highly skeptical if we can cover the last 2 segments because of the time constraint and the nature of crowd that we have today, but we'll definitely focus more on the essential skill sets and how Finpro can actually help you. Yes, so as I said, we're going to do a reality check over here at this point of time. So let's look at what a reality check is. So let's see, what is the scope for accountants? How many of you guys think that there is a scope for accountancy or finance as a career in today's market? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't think there is a career. I hope I don't see any thumbs down. Okay, a lot of thumbs up. So all of you feel that there is a career possible, or there is a potential for a successful career in accounting and finance. You know what the statistics say? If you just look at this is just a screenshot of a Google search I did earlier today, for accounting jobs in India. If you notice, various portals have got so many opportunities listed. Indeed is saying 14,817 accountant job vacancies. LinkedIn is a growing market these days for jobs, 6,000 plus in India alone. Okay, not across the world. Then 12,423 as per Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a slightly more reliable data because it's actually posted by employees over there. So this is what the potential for the market is. Now, if there is so much demand for accountants, it's easy peasy for us to get a job, right? That's what you would think. The reality is our employment ratio or the unemployment ratio is highest amongst youth today more than ever. That is a reality that we have. Now, the reason for that is what we look at. But before that, let me just tell you what the scope for accounting is over here. I am covering over here the various markets that you can target as an accountant. Okay, you can target the Indian market, you can target global market. Global market is usually USA, Europe, Middle East. Australia also is a growing market. Now, when I say USA, Europe, Middle East, Australia, it doesn't necessarily mean you physically travel there. You can actually sit in India and do the work for these entities and earn in foreign currency from these entities, right? So that's the market that you can tap in. So from India, we all know India is a growing economy. So recently we surpassed the UK to become the 4th largest economy. Then, our GDP growth is, there is a debate on how to calculate it, but then we definitely, as far as growth is concerned, we are one of the growing, booming economies in the world as far as accounting profession is concerned. Second thing why you have a lot of scope in India is the regulatory changes that you see in India. Indian regulatory or Indian taxation law, Indian corporate law, Indian foreign exchange law, or anything for that matter that relates to finance is the most complex law that you can find across the world. One of the most complex law that you can find across the world. So getting, expertise, working knowledge on Indian regulatory matters is very difficult, and hence there is always a need for accountants who know Indian regulatory matters like income tax, like GST, other taxation matters, PF, labor law stuff, profession tax, how to file a profession tax return, how to file an PF return, how to renew your profession tax. All these things are in high demand from a market perspective. The last part is globalization, which is basically, like I said, you have multinational companies who have set up businesses in India, and there is global reporting for these entities. So accountants who know global reporting are very much in demand. People who can help in consolidation of their books. So there is a huge demand in India. Similar reasons for other markets also, except that one thing that you see in the other markets is the aging workforce in the accountant bracket. In USA, Europe, etc., there are not many youngsters who are more interested in taking up the accounting profession, and the existing ones are reaching retirement age. And in these countries, the concept of retirement is slightly different from the concept that we have of retirement. So, they are not willing to take up, consulting roles after they retire, etc., unless they have a passion for the profession. So there is a huge demand on that aspect. Second is, I'm not put in the slide because it's not professional to do so, but there is a cost benefit attached. The accountant that you hire in USA or in Australia is definitely going to be more costlier than you hiring the same accountant from Bangalore, Mysore, or Hubli. All right. So that is why there's a big need for accountants. Now, like I said, the the reality is that there is around 83% unemployment ratio in Indian youth. And when I say Indian youth, this is the educated Indian youth. Okay. Any reason why? They are educated, they have done their education, they have gone to colleges, but despite a huge demand, there is huge unemployment. Can someone give me their views in the chat window? Like, why do you think there is a big gap between the employment ratio and the demand ratio? Usually supply and demand should make things balanced, right? Why is it not getting balanced over here? You can give me what you feel is the answer, and I can guide you from there. Why are people not getting jobs despite there being a need for a job? One of my clients came to me 3 months back. 3 months back. So we are in May right now. Yeah, this was somewhere in February. He said, "I want an accountant to handle GST, handling excise, not excise, customs duty, and these sort of things." I was able to refer a person only last week for that role. So you know how easy it is for employers to find accountants. AI and machine work more. Yes, that is one reason, but not at this level. Yes, Anita said, because of our knowledge and skill problems. Rising population and more competition. Yeah, but then more competition means I should have people getting hired. Right? So there is a gap. It's not like excess supply and there are people who are not able to find jobs. There are people who are unemployed. Uma Nair said the right word. Skills issue. Very good, Uma Nair. Excellent answer. No practical experience and skill issue. This is the reason why you have a gap between the employment rate and the demand for accountants in today's industry. Yes, AI and machine knowledge level is something that factors into these answers. So if you see, 90% of college students are not job ready. This is a survey that was published recently in the Economic Times. And at the same time, you can see the growth of the IT and ITS. ITES is basically your BPOs and those sort of industries. They are growing like really big time. I think in the last 10 years, it's grown by multiple folds. And this trend is going to keep increasing at least for the next 3 to 4 years. 2027, at least, this trend is going to continue. Yes, Ahmad Said, we have to focus. We are focusing more on book knowledge rather than having the skills. Absolutely right. Yes, absolutely, Mr. Swikey, because of not having experience in related sectors. Experience, practical experience, how to do something. So, like I said, I told you of this case where I had a requirement of an accountant with my client, right? You think I did not interview any people during these 3 to 4 months? No. I interviewed at least 5 to 6 people in this during this time. And 5 to 6 people I interviewed after screening through some 20-25 resumes. And out of those 5 to 6 people, one person I was able to finalize last week. The other 6 or 5 people that I interviewed, many of them were not even able to give me a basic answer like, what is the journal entry for purchase of goods? They'll just go blank like this. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like they've never heard about it. If you don't know how to account purchase of goods, tell me which entity is going to hire you as an accountant. Okay. And forget, I never touched taxation. I never touched like, okay, what is GST? If I ask what is GST, I get a correct answer. GST is this, that, there is input tax, output tax, all these things I ask. I'll ask them one very simple question. What is the journal entry for accounting GST? Blank. Right? Then I'll say, okay, fine. I think you need more exposure into that. So this is what is the reality today. Our academic knowledge is not giving enough skills for our graduates to start working in the industry. Now, these are some of the career options that people should opt at if you're looking at the accounting and finance career. On the left-hand side, you have professional qualifications, CA, CPA, CPAs of various countries, CPA USA, CPA Australia, CPA Canada, ACCA or CMA in various other countries. Those are professional qualifications. If you are not looking at professional qualifications, you should at least look at job-oriented skills programs like what you have in accounting and finance and in the digital space today, AI and other related tools. Now, the problem with professional qualification is that if you're pursuing those qualifications, number one, they take a lot of time to complete. Okay. At least 1.5 to 4 years is the average time that someone takes to get professionally qualified. CPA is the fastest that you can qualify if you are really smart and if good at clearing exams. You should be able to clear a CPA in 1 to 1.5 years. That is the fastest. And I have seen only 1 or 2 people do that throughout my career. Usually, I see people taking 2 to 3 years to do the CPA. ACCA, I have seen people taking 4 to 5 years while working, not just while studying. So, so these professional courses take a lot of time to clear, and it takes undivided attention from your side and 100% sincere effort from your side for doing these courses. Now, on the other hand, job-oriented skilling programs are focusing purely on upskilling you with the practical world. They will teach you how to look at an invoice. If I give you an invoice, what are the things that you should look in an invoice? How to account this invoice? How to enter a particular journal entry into the accounting software that we'll be using? How to create a table for submitting your GST returns, when to submit your GST returns, where to submit your GST returns, what are the test checks that you should do while you're preparing your GST returns, how do you review your books so that when you submit your returns, you're submitting the correct data and you don't get a demand notice from the GST authorities after one day. Today, system is very highly automated. You submit something wrong into the system, you will immediately get a demand saying you have submitted something wrong, and show cause notice is what we call it. And once you get a show cause notice, it's good for people like me, people in the practice, but clients won't appreciate it. Okay, so that's how it is. So that is what job oriented skill program do. We teach you how to use the softwares. We teach you what is cloud accounting, what are the options in cloud accounting, what is an ERP, how does an ERP work. That is what job-oriented programs are. And job-oriented programs is something that you can learn by investing a lot lesser than the professional qualification programs in a lot lesser time. Thereby, you can begin your careers immediately. You can start earning immediately after that program if you get placed in the right place. You can start supporting your family back. Or let's say you're someone who took a break in your career. I've seen a lot of such people throughout my time. They, especially females who took a break in their career because of family reasons. Now they want to come back and earn money. The kids are more or less independently managing their matters, and there is a lot of free time with these females. And they are like, okay, fine, let me earn some money, but then I studied all these things 10, 15 years ago. How do I refresh it? GST was not even there in those days. I don't know what is the rate of TDS that I should deduct in my transactions. So all this is what is being taught in a job oriented skilling program. As compared to a professional qualification, there is a syllabus that you have to follow. The exams are extremely difficult. Your pass percentage can be as low as 5%, and it cannot go beyond 20 to 30%. So that is the probability of you clearing those exams in the fastest possible time. Whereas skilling programs is more of like, we are teach you how to do your work, and once you are skilled, you can take jobs, start earning, and then parallelly you can pursue your professional qualifications. That is what I call the smart idea of managing a career. I wouldn't advise someone to spend 5 to 6 years or 7 years only doing professional qualification without doing any work, and then think that their career will jump start from there. It's not going to happen. That by that time you will again be obsolete in the market. So it's very important to be skilled. It's like you have to always sharpen your skills. That is why these skill development programs are very important from accounting, from a finance professional's perspective. Now, let's look at what are the essential skill sets for an accountant. I have divided this into a couple of sets. The first is subject matter expertise. Accountants must have subject matter expertise in mainly three areas. Number one is called practical accounting. Now, practical accounting is basically not something new. You would have learned this in college. Okay, if you're a BCom graduate or if you're an MCom postgraduate, even from MBA, if you're from a commerce background, you should not have any problem with practical accounting, because this is nothing new. You have learned all this in your college. However, you don't know how to do this practically. You can write the journal entry on a piece of paper, but if I give you access to my accounting software, you are not able to create the journal entry in the software from a practical basis, because all you learn, I'll give a classic example. In colleges, what we learn, purchase of goods. Anyone, can you give me the journal entry for purchase of goods quickly in the chat window? Purchase account, debit to cash. Okay, cash purchases. Good answer. Okay, now, do you know in the real life it doesn't work like this? Okay, in the real life, what happens is, before you purchase anything, there is something known as a purchase order. The buyer has to raise a purchase order to the seller. The purchase order will have certain details mentioned over there with regard to the nature of the goods, the quantity of the goods, any other specification, and the price rate of the goods, and various other aspects, terms and conditions, when I pay you back, what is the credit period, and a lot of things. So purchase order is there. We never touched upon this document in our college days. This is the first document an accountant has to look when it comes to purchase accounting purchases. Right now, purchases to cash, correct entry as per books. But what about the duties and taxes for purchases? Where do you account that? There is a concept known as input tax. So if you have paid GST on that, and if you're eligible to claim input for that GST, how do you change the accounting entry in that case? So this is the difference. This is the difference between practical accounting and what you guys have put in the chat window is what I call academic accounting. There's nothing wrong in your answer. If you write this answer in your college exam, you're going to get full marks. But in the real life, if you do this entry, wrong. Why? Because there are other aspects. So this is what is practical accounting. It is very important to learn practical accounting. What are the various documents that you should refer while passing an entry? Purchases to cash is not as simple as that in the real world. It's not a complex thing either, but then you have to look at various documents, verify a lot of details, and see how do you record the entry, including taxation aspect. Okay, so that brings me to the second aspect, that is taxation and other laws. Basically regulatory. You should be aware of the various regulations that is applicable to the entity that you operate in. Mainly direct taxes, indirect taxes, and if you're working in a company, there'll be corporate laws applicable for you. If you have a more than prescribed labor limit, you will have labor laws applicable, PF, profession tax, ESI, all these things will be applicable for you. You have to ensure that you're complying with all of this, and compliance alone is not enough. You have to document your compliance by filing periodic returns. There may be monthly returns, there may be quarterly returns, there may be annual returns, and to top it all up, you will have audits. You'll have to handle the auditor for all of this. So that is the regulatory aspect of subject matter. Third, very important aspect is you should know the tools that you use for accounting, namely your software or ERP. The most in-demand software in today's market for mid-size entities is Tally Prime or Tally ERP. Not much of a difference. Tally Prime is a slightly refined version of Tally ERP. Then you have cloud accounting. Some people prefer to use cloud accounting these days because data security is a big threat these days. Cyber security is a big threat these days, right? So people prefer to have a cloud-based of accounting. So there you have Zoho Books in India. QuickBooks is not available in India, but it's very much in demand rest of the globe. So if you're working for international, if you're doing international work, there is still demand for QuickBooks resources in today's market. I was searching for someone who knows QuickBooks for another client of mine recently, based out of US. So it's still there, market is still, but yeah, in India, as far as India is concerned, QuickBooks is not available. So you cannot use QuickBooks for Indian entities, but foreign entities still use QuickBooks. So that is cloud accounting. And then the big one, the ERPs. The most in-demand ERP, at least 80 to 90% of the Fortune 500 companies, all of them use SAP, not SAP, SAP. Okay, SAP means pig in German, pig. So don't say SAP ever. Always say SAP. SAP S/4HANA, the ERP that is used by most of the Fortune 500 companies. We should know how to operate SAP. We have SAP has various models like FI model, model. There is a HR module in that. So we have to be aware of at least the FI module, if not the module that we need to use. Okay, so this is the subject matter core expertise that you should be having. I told you we are changing from a finance profession to a fintech profession, right? So data analysis and visualization is an important skill set that you should have. So when I say data interpretation, it doesn't just mean it doesn't mean tech matters. So data interpretation means, like, take this example. Okay, everyone knows what is prepaid insurance, guys. Prepaid insurance. Thumbs up. Prepaid insurance. Can someone give me the journal entry for prepaid insurance? Suppose, let's say I paid insurance premium of 1 lakh rupees and 80,000 of that insurance is prepaid. What is the journal entry for prepaid insurance? Prepaid debit to insurance, right? Answer is wrong slightly, but yeah, prepaid insurance to cash. Lipson has got it right. So prepaid insurance debit to cash. Now, this was so easy for you because I told you I paid 1 lakh rupees, of which 80,000 is prepaid. Okay, I spoon fed the details to you, prepaid insurance. In real life, it is not so easy. There is no spoon feeding happening to an accountant. Absolutely no. Accountant is the last person who gets any kind of spoon feeding. Okay, how will you understand 80,000 is prepaid? Any idea in the chat window? How will you understand 80,000 is prepaid? Okay, in order to save time, I will give you the answer. You will have to verify the insurance policy, right? What is the period of, yes, very good, Kishan. You should verify the invoice of the policy or the premium receipt that you get. So the premium will mention what is the policy period. It will say the policy period is from April 1st, or not April 1st, it's from June 1st till May 31st. Okay, so what it means is only 2 months is my current period and rest 10 months is prepaid. This is what I call data interpretation. If I give you the source document, it may be a prepaid insurance policy, it may be a rental agreement, it may be a royalty agreement, it may be any kind of agreement where I have to pay consulting to someone. It can be even a merger document to calculate goodwill on merger. Okay, this is like very high level stuff. Okay, it can be even some technical document to analyze if there is impairment for your asset. So basically, how do you interpret a document financially? That skill set is very important for an accountant. Depends various, but it's basic things like how to interpret an invoice. What is a PO reference in an invoice? See, if I ordered for, let us say, if I ordered for Alfonso mango, did I get Alfonso mango or some other mango, or did I get mangoes in the first place? How do you interpret that? Okay, let's say I ordered Alfonso mango and I got Shimla apple in return. Nothing is matching, right? So that is what you have to see. Did I order these goods in the first place to record the purchase? If not, I will return the goods. Okay, even before I record the purchase, I return the goods. This is what happens in the practical world, and this happens only if you are able to go through the relevant documents in time. Data visualization tools is basically nothing but how do you use Excel, various MS Office tools. There are, as you go to more complex areas, they have these days you have Power BI tools, etc. How you present data to various people. And finally, financial reporting is basically how you do your reporting. Many entities, accountants are supposed to do MIS reporting, and mostly this is all done in Excel. But every entity will have their own tool for collating this data. So there are various tools available in the market, and these are usually custom-based tools that is there in the entity. But you all of them have similar kind of logic in terms of working. Just that you will get, if when you are employed, when you get hired, you get trained in these sort of tools. Okay. Now, very important, soft skills, communication skills. How do you end up getting a job in the first place? How do you crack the interview? It is very important to have good communication skills, verbal and written communication skills. Many of us are very good in written communication skills, but when it comes to verbal, nothing. We are very quiet. It is because we don't practice this. Your competition is there with people who went to the best premium institution in the country or in your city. How do you stay back? Do you just acknowledge the fact that they are better than me? I will not be better than them? No. You have to improve your communication skills. There are various ways to do it, and the best way to do is only by practicing communication skills. We have at Finpro have various programs over here in terms of every batch has placement training programs in which communication skills is a very important focus area in those training programs. Analytical thinking, developing strong analytical thinking skills, which enables professionals to critically evaluate your financial data. Something like, how do you look at the data? Is it just a post-mortem that you're doing? Is the question. Or are you bringing value to your organization? Okay, this is the trial balance, here you go. Or this is the balance sheet, here you go. Is that what you're doing? Or you're saying, you know what, I see that in current year, our gross profit ratio is 30%. Whereas last year, this gross profit ratio was 50%. Why there is a huge dip in this ratio? Turns out you haven't accounted some sales when you dig into it. And when you accounted the sales, it's pretty much similar, because gross profit ratio can't change year on year unless there's a reason for that. Gross profit ratio, the gross margin usually remains the same. That is what is called analytical thinking. Attention to detail, extremely important for accountants. One data goes wrong somewhere, you are going to spend nights finding the data. When I started my career, there was a lot of manual accounting going on at that point of time. I have spent days and nights just to prepare a trial balance, or rather a tally trial balance. I will have a difference of like 235 rupees and I'm not able to find that. So those sort of things. So you have to have attention to detail. You cannot cause error because you handle multiple volume of data. In this, you cannot make any mistake from your end. So that is why attention to detail is extremely important. This comes only through practice. Okay. Now, last aspect I want to talk about of this skill set is your tech savviness and adaptability. Technology is changing big time, and the pace at which technology is changing is highest and will be higher and higher as we go in the future. If you take the history of mankind, okay, human beings are supposed to have been around for some 3 lakh years on the planet. Okay, maybe around 1.5 lakh years we took just to invent the wheel. Okay, so that is the growth that we had. 1.5 lakhs years took us just to invent the wheel. From there, it took another 1 lakh years to reach Bronze Age, Iron Age, all those things. Okay, it came all the way. Last 200 years is when Industrial Revolution started. Okay, after Industrial Revolution, next 100 years, IT revolution started. Okay, IT revolution started, and now within after the next 20 years, artificial intelligence revolution has started. If you notice, the gap is decreasing between each milestone that human beings are achieving. So we are progressing at a much faster pace, and the pace will keep progressing faster and faster and faster. In another maybe 100, 200 years, we won't be around that long. We might be a much more advanced civilization than what we can even imagine today. Okay, so that is how we are growing. So in this market, you are supposed to be embracing the new technology. You should learn what is a new technology. You should not be in your comfort zone saying that I know this, so I'll stick on to this only. Let's say I train you in Tally, you say I'll do only Tally accounting. No, that's not how it is. You have to be willing to take up new opportunities, new technologies. You should have that appetite to learn more. Second is continuous learning. Obviously, like I said, these regulatory matters keep changing here and there now, and even the technology things keep changing. You should have this continuous learning model. The learning never ends for an accountant. Okay, very important, problem solving abilities. You will have a lot of technical issues in the life of an accountant. You should be able to find a solution to all these issues. Now, with this, I have covered what is the essential skill sets that is needed from an accountant. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just um, tell you how Finpro can help you in this. What are our products that is useful for you? Okay, like I said, we have job-oriented skilling programs over here. I am the academic head of Finpro Bangalore, and I keep telling this to my students every time I see them. We don't teach you anything new in Finpro. Okay, we only coach you on something you already know, or we probably give you a new dimension of something that you already learned and coach you how to do it. Right? Everyone over here, you know how to. Everyone over here knows how to ride a bicycle. Everyone has a bicycle balance. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, guys. Bicycle balance, everyone. You know how to ride a bicycle, two-wheeler, not four-wheeler, two-wheeler bicycle. That balance is there, right? Okay. Now, recall the day you learned to ride the bicycle on two wheels, not the four-wheel cycle, the two-wheel cycle where you balanced. You initially were struggling to sit straight and you were falling down, right? Thumbs up, yes or no? Were you struggling initially? Do you remember? You're like, many of you would have been scared. No, I can't do this. This is not possible. Some of you might have even quit also, right? Saying, no, I'm not, I don't want to learn cycle. My children are trying to learn it now. My son is like, no, I don't want to learn the cycle. He says, Dad, you're cruel, trying to make me learn this. Okay. So, but do you remember someone was there running with you? Maybe your father, maybe elder brother, uncle, someone was there holding the cycle from falling while you were riding the bicycle initially, right? Remember that person? Yeah, that is Finpro for you. We will hold you so that even if you falter, you won't get injured. Okay. If you pass a wrong entry after getting a job, you may even lose your job. But at Finpro, if you pass a wrong entry, you learn how not to pass that entry. So the programs that we have are basically giving you practical exposure. So the courses that we have over here are, this is the course that we are delivering in Finpro. It is known as a Business Accounting Specialist Program. It's a 6-month program along with 100% placement assistance if you are completing the program successfully. And what do we cover in this? Like I mentioned, practical accounting. Okay, how to account an invoice with taxation aspect, how to deduct TDS. We teach you how to do Tally on Tally Prime. We teach you Zoho books. We teach you, not teach, we coach you. We coach you Zoho books. We also introduce you to SAP S4 HANA FI module. We also coach you on GST, income tax matters, how to use MS Excel, labor laws, professional skills, and like I mentioned, placement training. So all of this is delivered in this program called as a Business Accounting Specialist Program. This is a 5-day per week course where you will be attending either online through whichever location you're based. If you're in Bangalore, and I always suggest, if you're in Bangalore, come and attend the courses offline at our centers, because you can make use of our trainers more effectively if you're coming for offline. So every day our course will be there for three to 3.5 hours in a day. And like I said, I don't teach you something over it, I coach you. All most of this, we will initially give you what the idea of the theory of the topic is, and then we make you do case studies. We make you create a company in Tally and how to account invoices in that company, right from creating the inventory master to the vendor master to the GST rates for your products. The case study, the practical aspect, exactly what you do in your future job is what you'll be doing at Finpro. So it is exactly like what you do in a driving school. You are driving the driving school car with the coach by your side in heavy traffic. Okay, so that is the BSP program, followed by we also have short-term courses. If you are interested in just specific courses like SAP S4 HANA, SAP S4 HANA MM module, Zoho Books, Tally Prime, MS Office, these are like short-term courses focusing only on small contents. This is also available, but my personal suggestion is to always go for BSP if you have 6 months of time, because that is what the value is there. Now, Finpro has a special offer for you, which is valid for the next 48 hours, is what I'm told, where you are going to get a 10% discount on these courses from the prices. So, based on what I just told to you, I would strongly urge you to evaluate the need to join and undergo a job-oriented program, skill development program, especially when they're offering this good rates for you. So yeah, this is how you have to register. You have to call on this number. I thank you all for your time, and I wish you a very fruitful career. And I wish Finprov can help you in that career. Like I said, the person who helped you learn the bicycle by holding it from the back and running along with you, that is Finprov. All right. So I hope we can work together in partnership, and thereby you can build your own career.
Finprov Learning,